Oh, welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. So glad that you're here. Plenty of people logged in already, ready for the show, and I am excited tonight. We have a special guest tonight. Kyle O is on. We're also joined by Ross Gassaway and one of our fellow pilots in the Masters of the Air, Larry. And Sean is also moderating tonight. He's with us on the ground in a bunker in an undisclosed area. I'm going to send out one extra invite here. So glad that you're here. If you're just logging on, if this is the first time that you've ever watched the show, do want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more shows from here on for the rest of your life. This is very important. So I had some really cool talks with a couple people about the show and the future of the show. And I'm pretty stoked right now, man, about the direction. Some of you guys should have got the new swag. I got some swag. Check this out. Hold on just a second. We got paraglidingtalk.com shirts. And we're not going to be selling them. Maybe someday. But for now, we're going to keep those little gems on the side because I made them myself. And but anyways, we got some paraglidingtalk.com shirts now. We'll see where that goes. Where are you going, Kylo?
My phone's ringing. I'm turning it off.
Should have answered it.
Yeah, live on the internet. Hey,
hold on just a second. So we're gonna do a little talk about my first paragliding flight. It was incredibly fun. I'm going to keep it short because most of you guys already seen the video and most of you guys already had your first paramotoring experiences.
To say, I think you meant first paramotoring.
Paramotoring.
Paragliding.
Did I say paragliding?
Yeah.
Paramotoring. Thank you.
Both were probably equally as exciting, right?
Yeah. My first was pretty exciting. I just watched that video today. It's on my phone still. I refuse to delete it because it's such a good video. But you know how you run out of space and you start looking for things to delete?
I load them onto a hard drive and then start fresh.
Yeah, see, I need to do that.
They're cheap, man. Like $90. You get several terabytes.
Yeah, I know. I got cloud. I got 20 gigs on the cloud if I want, but just don't do it.
20 gigs is nothing, man. I fill up 20 gigs in an evening, Robert.
That's true. One video.
Yeah.
Especially with that new GoPro 7.
I know, man. The thing buries the data deep.
That'll steal all your gigabytes.
Oh yeah. I've never turned on the 4K. It might explode or something.
I can't justify
my
using
computer.
The 4K.
I'm talking about, not the camera.
Yeah, well, maybe both. I can't understand. Well, I guess maybe in the future we're going to need 4K because we said the same thing about 1080.
The image does look better if you do in 4K first, and even if you sample down, it still looks better.
Interesting.
My computer still might go into flames, though.
Yeah, mine is starting to act really slow when I try to edit in 4K now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So I do want to start off with the business. Tonight, our show is hosted by and sponsored by paraorangeproducts.com. Go check out paraorangeproducts.com if you're interested in getting some gear for flying from a local and an American-made product. I love America. And anyways, I'm loving the fact that Larry's been coming on every show. And so if anybody has any questions you want to ask Larry, just drop it in the chat while we're live. And then if you're catching this show and it's already over, I'll drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you. And paraorangeproducts.com for all your paragliding needs. I think tonight, are we gonna give something away tonight? Is that the plan?
Yes, we are.
That is fantastic. So we didn't really get a chance to talk about what we're going to give away. We'll keep that a secret till about the halfway mark. What do you say?
I think that's a great idea.
Secrets are cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll keep people
Big
trapped here.
Big
And
announcement.
the bag lady
tonight.
mad.
Get the bag lady mad. Big announcement tonight.
Big announcement. Oh, is it a big announcement tonight?
Yeah, big announcement tonight.
Oh,
I'm quitting.
nice. No, you can't quit. Oh man.
Gonna go sell drugs with Kyle.
Oh, come on.
Tonight's episode brought to you by Percocet. No, that's not Percocet.
Oh.
Hey, Hey, Sean, I did in the 70s. So, I mean,
Vitamins. So the other part of the
Sean
show,
gets it.
we're going to talk a little bit about XC Skies, as you saw in the title. One of the best weather predicting things for flying is XC Skies, and so you can go to xcskies.com, just as it's spelled, xcskies.com, and of course it does require membership if you want to get the full shebang. You can use it without all the bells and whistles for free.
You just can't see the future.
You just can't see into the future.
I think you can actually, it's been a while since, I remember when I was first looking at it, you can actually play with all the features and the functions, but it just shows you like that day, right? Like right then and maybe the day before. You can't see what's happening tomorrow. So
right.
You got to pay for that, right?
Right.
So,
the most important information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sending out an invite here to one of my friends. Here we go.
Hey, what's the base hat, Robert? I see you got a base hat. I know it's
so
I
can't
see the top part.
Can you see it now?
Perrine Bridge, Twin Falls. Oh, is that the place where Tucker was jumping?
That's it, man.
Okay,
and so what happened is my one of my coworkers went there just to take pictures, and he looks over and he sees the guys jumping off the bridge, and he knows I'm into paragliding. He associates the same. He just lumps them all together: paragliding, paramotoring, base skydiving, all of it's all the same to him. He's like, I saw the guy doing what you do. And I was like, oh, cool. I got you this hat. And I was so excited. I took a picture of it right away and sent it to Tucker. I said, look what I got.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Tucker took a picture of his merch and was like, see what I got?
See what I got? He's been I think
Tucker's got some cool stuff. A guy came in the store here the other day wearing a Tucker Got t-shirt.
Really?
It's like, look at you. He's like, yeah, I watch Tucker's videos too.
I was kiting at a church up the street from my house, and I had a guy stop on the side of the road, ran up to me out in the middle of the field. And he was like, oh, I saw a video of this one guy. I said, you talking Kyle? You talking Kyle Glee, Matt Minyard? You talking Phil Russman? Robert Michaels? Who Gasaway? He's like, no, those names don't sound familiar. What do you look like? And he was like, well, he had curly hair and an orange jacket on. I'm like, oh, Tucker. Yeah, we had Tucker on the show not too long ago. He's like, really? Yeah.
That's cool.
That happen all the time. It's like, I seen this guy go to McDonald's. Yeah, okay, we all know that one.
Yeah. We need to do that. We need to make that. Kyle, you need to make that video, bro, so you can also be the guy.
I could fly to McDonald's. I got a great spot to land right in front of our McDonald's.
Yeah,
and then I would have to traverse a 4-lane. That would be the most dangerous part. Yeah, walking across the street to it
with the paramotor on your back.
No, I just leave it out there in the grass.
Yeah. Remember that one time when Tucker left
I'm lazy, man. I'm all about convenience.
Do a group fly-in. We'll just all occupy a McDonald's and just leave all of our gear out in front, and then we just take off from there.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they're trolling you in the comments. Can you see that, Kyle?
Who me? No, I've got XC Skies pulled up on my other computer here.
Yeah, so let's get into the show. I know we sometimes we babble on a little bit, but I'm excited tonight. So check this out. I got my first chance to fly a paramotor, and I'll give you just a little bit of background on it. When I got a phone call from Phil Russman. And he goes, you have that talk show. He goes, you talk a lot about paramotors, and you got a lot of paramotor guys on there, but you never flew on a paramotor. And I was like, no, whatever. And he goes, so we're gonna make a change. He goes, I already talked to Chris. He goes, he's gonna let you borrow his top 80, and we're gonna go out to the field. We're gonna do some ground handling for a few hours the day before, and then we're gonna do a few more stuff on the ground. And that day, and then we're going to wait for the weather conditions to calm down, and we're going to see if we can take it up for a run. And so we did, and man, was that fun. So the takeaways that I got from that, well, the main thing that I took away from it was that flying a paramotor is like cheating. You don't have to work, man. You just hit the button and go.
I love it.
You go up. That's it. You don't
Best
have
way to burn gasoline on this whole planet.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
So we did some ground handling. You saw in the video. We got Russman had to abuse me a little bit because I've developed some paragliding habits, launch habits that are not good, kiting habits that are not good.
The torpedo under full power. That's what I usually see. The guy's landing over, hitting it.
Phil's an excellent teacher, so he really pressed that home. Don't be leaning forward. You're going to have to trust the motor. And so I was really focused on that.
Yeah.
I thought in my mind, I was like, kiting's a cake, but then I had to factor in that now I've got the throttle in one hand. And so that adds another dimension. And then I've got, only one hand for the A's, one hand for the rear risers for launch. And so I had to recalibrate a little bit which way I was going to turn. And you don't want the lines falling down into the prop or nothing. So I want to make sure I wasn't going to screw up this guy's motor. And I want to make sure I didn't chop up my wing or bust my riser. My dad's in the chat right now. He just said I need to fix my line because I busted a line yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. Dang it.
Well, the more you do it, the more you love it.
I saw that video. It's in my queue. I ain't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yep.
I broke a line. I saw the thumbnail. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I broke one too one time. I found it after about a 45-minute flight. I looked up and saw it trailing behind me. I was like, oh, look. It was just a cascade. Yeah, it wasn't anything important.
Yeah, this one was on my trailing edge, and so we just tied in a knot and good to go. But I got to get that fixed. I still flew that day, but it was scary.
The velo. What happened was I was kiting and I'd sort of lost my cycle, and this was way back, and it fell kind of down on some rocks, and some guys were going to help me move my wing, and when they pulled on it, I think I felt it, heard it kind of snag. It didn't sound like a lot of damage or whatever, but it turned out it did pop a line loose. And so anytime somebody goes to pull on a wing, I always stop them. And like, I find that I've seen more wings damaged like that than I ever have any other way is when they fall down on something, like on a blown launch or something in a tight spot. There's rough terrain or rocks or roots or stumps. One guy had one fall down and I was there to help him. And I was like, man, it's on a stump. Let me grab it. He says, no, I got it. Went to pull it up, about a 10-inch hole in the top of the glider. I was like, oh man, and I was right there, like could have gently took it off. And just watch out for that stuff if you're ever in that situation.
What in the world? There's 65 people logged on. What's up, folks? Glad you're here tonight.
Kyle brings them all in.
Kyle. I think
they must not be here for my charming good looks or anything.
You're a celebrity if you want to be or not.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not, celebrity status, man, everybody is here. Look at that.
And it's not because I'm the drug guy either, that's the weird thing.
That's what it is.
They like because I got the dope.
Yeah, so we had some good I learned some good stuff. We did some right out of the gate where I'm doing some touch and go type stuff, and I came through real low and kind of almost foot drag height, and then kind of would launch again, and then he wanted me to get on the ground and keep the motor running, a lot of brakes, and do some powered landings, which is very interesting. And the whole dynamic of powered landings, I would encourage you to make sure you do your homework before you go and try powered landings. But we did some of that, and just some fly rounds. And I did have one thing that I wanted to mention tonight, and I didn't put it in the video because it's really embarrassing. But I couldn't. One of the times when I had landed, I couldn't get into my seat, so I was just hanging, and the motor was like making my back arch, and like it was forcing me. I couldn't, there was no way I could get into the seat. And we went over this before, and I said, okay, something, I got to remember what Russman told me. So I had to take my hands off, which I wasn't exactly excited about taking my hands off because there was some weird stuff going on, but I took my hands off, and then I, had to get underneath my seat and pull the strap and pull it underneath my butt. But, that was the only thing that I felt like, I was out of control. So I did a full fly around hanging out of the the harness, and that was kind of weird. And what it was, I guess my leg straps were too loose, and so I was just kind of dangling in the wind.
Didn't do a hang check, did you?
No, we did. We did do.
Really?
We did do a hang check.
Practice getting in and out of it?
Well, so what happened was they were just a little bit too loose. It wasn't horrible because the first couple times it wasn't a problem, but it was after I had wiggled my way into it real good.
See, when I hang somebody, I always make them wiggle to the very bottom because that's the worst case scenario. And if they can't get in the seat from there, we need to tighten them up. So, pro tip.
The other thing that I learned was that before I launch, I pull that seat down underneath my legs as far as it would go. Even though I'm standing straight up, I pull it down like and kind of bend my knees for a second before I launched, and that made the world of difference. And those were the two things that I thought I would try to contribute. Knowing so little about paramotoring, that's
very good things to do. I do the same thing myself. As far as when I'm strapping in, the first thing I do is pull the seat down and I pull up on the carabiners to kind of get everything in that configuration as I'm leaning over, and then when I stand up, it's all where it needs to be for when I get in the seat later. I got a question
for you, Kyle, and for you paramotor guys. All you guys fly paramotors except for Larry. You fly trike, right?
I fly quad.
So I notice your feet are just kind of out in the air. I like to have a stirrup out there, or I'm flying my pod all the time. Where do you put your feet? And what is there? Can you get something? Can you get a stirrup or something?
Yeah, I used to have one on my. It was called a kick strap. I had one on my very first paramotor. It was harder to get into the seat, so you put your foot on that strap and pushed it, and it pulled the seat underneath your butt. And I set it so that it was the right length that I could rest my feet on it. But I didn't do it all the time. It wasn't a necessity. I mean, they're pretty comfortable with your feet hanging. So. Yeah,
I was going to say
I just keep my feet, my ankles crossed most of the time.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So, anyways, I thought about that because we didn't have one, and I flew a Kangoo, and it's a top 80 engine, and it was brand spanking new, so it was really quiet and really nice. Those new motors, those what is it? The top 80,
the Atom 80.
No, I don't think it was an Atom 80.
That's like the newest. Yeah, the top 80 is a motor that's been around for a long time.
Is that the brand?
Tried and true. Yeah. Top 80 is the motor. That's the motor, but you can put them on different frames.
Right.
So
did you guys catch that video Matt Minyard put out about going to the Vitarazi factory?
Yeah, saw that today.
Man, that is a cool. It makes me want to get a Vitarazi motor.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about those?
I got to throw a shout out to Minyard. That guy sent me a brand spanking new Vitarazi muffler in the mail today.
What?
Yeah. Just here you go, Kyle. I saw yours was all beat to hell.
I'm gonna try to get. I just found him online. I had no idea, and so I'm gonna try to get him on the show because he's got some experience now.
He's a true professional. He's a professional paramotor pilot. That's what he does for a living. It's fine.
I think he does some acro too, right?
Yeah. He's on the Parabatics team. He travels the world. Like
what?
He's all the time around the world flying.
I just found him, so that's awesome.
Okay. Maybe perhaps that's what.
Like I was in Africa flying for Red Bull or something like that. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Maybe that's what we could do. We could make a paramotor calendar, and all the guys that are affiliated with paramotors or paragliding.
Write that down, Sean. Write that down.
I got it. Yeah.
Don't tell anyone else.
Oh no, that's between me and you. Well, Kyle,
Better not be a swimsuit calendar.
I'll leave the bag lady out of it.
I'm good at keeping secrets.
The bag lady in it? What?
Nice.
So I do want to do a little talk about XC Skies, and XC Skies has got some of the best feedback. Now I don't always jump straight to the XC Skies, but if you're a free flight pilot, especially, this is very convenient. Now I can see where if you're a paramotor pilot, this will come into handy because you can get these altitudes. I'm going to do a little screen share so you guys can see what is going on here. I can figure this out here.
And I could talk you through what I'm looking for as a paramotor pilot versus a glider pilot.
That is
I do use it for both, especially for like newer students, like how long can we fly in the day, that sort of thing, before it gets too bumpy. The thermal predictors are very good for predicting like turbulence and what it's going to feel like. And what you get sometimes varies a little, but it's pretty close. It's usually within an hour accuracy. So,
okay, so here we go. When I log in, typically I'll go to my favorite location and figure out exactly where I'm going to be flying that day or where I want to fly. Now, I've typically already figured out where I'm going ahead of the game. Especially now that I live
the wind direction.
Because I look at the wind direction. And in Southern California, there's almost always somewhere where you can go fly. So we've got the time stamp up here. I don't know how much of this you guys can see, but just work with me here. Here's today's date, and it's 24-hour clock. So at 4 o'clock, we'll look at 5 o'clock. Now you're looking at the wind barbs in the direction of the wind and the mile per hour. Now, when you go into this in the beginning, when you go to the settings, you're gonna preset up. Kyle and I were talking about this before the show. You're gonna preset what you want. If you want meters and you're in Europe, you can set up meters. If you want to be American, you use feet and miles per hour, right?
You can change all the different settings, man.
Everything.
There's a lot of customization that
but
you can do.
We'll let them do that when they get to it. Tonight we're going to do it feet and then miles per hour. And so this little bar right here, if you can see my mouse there, is going to give me my altitude. So we're looking at surface right here, SFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have what TOL, which I thought meant top of lift. Am I wrong on that?
It does. No, that's it.
Okay, so you can slide this, but for some reason it hasn't been sliding properly. I don't know if it works for you. Maybe it's Mac giving me issues. But let's just go to $2,000 for just for the fun of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Notice how the wind direction changed there. So I'm gonna go back to surface, and that's pretty much west. Everybody agree on that? And then if we look, it changes at 2,000 feet. All of a sudden, you've got a little bit of a direction change, right? So probably an inversion layer right around there somewhere. And
but the speeds don't change that much, though.
But the speeds didn't change very much. Now, look what happened when it got to 4K. Now I'm down to pretty much nil. Over Poway, we've got nothing going on in this whole area. So direction of the wind, really not a big deal. 1 mile per hour winds, more than likely you're not going to have anything to worry about there. Let's go up higher. We'll go to $6,000 and see what it's looking like there. Now the direction of the wind is going this is coming from the east now. So guess what you're going to have somewhere in between there. In between 6,000 feet and 4,000 feet, you're going to have what's called wind shear.
But it's 2 miles an hour, Robert. There's not going to be any wind shear there.
Right. But what I'm getting at, very good.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is that this was something I learned on the in the air. It was not cool. I had 10 mile an hour wind coming this way and 10 mile an hour coming that way. That's
enough
to
be an issue for sure.
Oh man. So imagine you've got some dust devils in the air rolling sideways. That's kind of what it's like flying into. So you talk about a trip. But when I log on, and I'll just cut right to the chase. When I log in, I'm looking for wind direction first. And then if you see over here to the left, it says top of usable lift. I want to know how high I can go. You got a little slider bar on the side here, tell you what they're predicting for your altitude, what they think you're going to be able to get to. Look over here in this blue area that's predicting that you're the top of usable lift. This is for paragliding, obviously. For catching thermals is going to be right around 4K. And what I'm looking at here, this is pretty much the top of El Cap, where we like to go across the valley there when we fly at Blossom, if you've ever seen those videos. So you can see that $4,000, that's very accurate. Okay, so I'm going to go and log in. I'm going to say, okay, wind direction. Let's see what it looks like at surface. Do I have the ability to launch 4 mile an hour winds? That's probably dialed. We could fly at Blossom today. Okay, it's going to give you some lift above ground. And I'm just going to walk down through these. It's going to say thermal tops, and it's going to give me a breakdown, thermal top uncertainty. And a lot of this stuff I don't really get into until I'm sure that I'm going to go flying at this site. And then
I click it.
check the
I
future.
click on 3 things, man.
Yeah,
Just about every time it's 3 things I click on.
Okay, let me are you going to screen share? Do you want to navigate?
No, I
through
mean I can talk it through yours, man. If I'm
Okay.
looking at what everybody else is looking at.
Yep.
Yeah, when I click on first thing I do is I go over to the different forecast models. We hadn't discussed that yet. At the top, it's got the Global Forecasting System 30, GFS 30.
Yep.
That entails a 30-kilometer resolution. So it's a pretty broad stroke. That's for the global system. Now, I don't know the width of the NAM 12 and NAM 3 are North American models. That's a 12-kilometer resolution and a 3-kilometer resolution. They're a lot more accurate, but they also are just North America, as far as I know. I've never actually looked over in Europe. The most accurate one that I've seen is the HRRR3, and that is the high resolution rapid repeating.
Yeah.
And you can't look as far into the future, but if you look, you can see the detail that actually came out of that same map by clicking on that.
Yeah, look at that.
It shows just little individual swirls of air and what's going on. It's because the pixels go from 30 kilometers to 3 kilometers. So the resolution is amazing. You just can't see as far into the future. But if you're looking at the same day or even into the next day, it's pretty amazing at what it shows. And it is very accurate, man. The other day I was flying and it showed where there were going to be some storm cells popping up. And there were just 2 of them. And they popped up exactly where they showed when I went that evening. And I was tripping out like, whoa. It actually showed right where they were going to be, like over the little town that they were over. And it's a convective forecast. So it actually is geared for thermal activity. So the first thing I do is click on that, and that increases the resolution greatly. And you're looking at one area usually. You're not trying to look at a gigantic swath of 1 or 2 states. You're looking at your neighborhood or your mountain. And the top of usable lift, that's great for free flight. But I go over to the updraft velocity. That's on down about halfway there. That tells you how strong the thermals are. And if you look there, it's got a little chart on the right. It's got the blue, anything that's blue, light green. As it goes up, it's 100, 200, 300, 400 feet per minute up. You got, when it starts turning yellow and orange,
hang on to your hats.
That's where you're going to start having collapses. Between 400 and 600, when it starts to get a little darker green, you're going to have that's where that's really uncomfortable, maybe for students or beginner pilots. They start experiencing some turbulence, and then, but again, when it starts getting in the red, that's when you got your big booming days, your 800,000 feet a minute climbs. That's when there's serious air, big air. But if you look at the time scale, like when you go say 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's say we're looking at Friday, that's 1 o'clock. If you go down in the morning, you can kind of tell when things start to really heat up and the thermals start to take off. So
let's look at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, click on 9 o'clock. Everything's nice and calm, man. There's almost no thermal activity. Now you got to remember that the turbulence is coming from 2 different places. It's coming from the thermal activity and strength, but also wind shear, what you were talking about. If you've got huge winds aloft, you still could have turbulence, even if your thermal activity is showing like almost nothing. So it's important to look at both of those to determine if it's going to be a turbulent day. But this gives you your, if it never gets above 400 feet per minute, your glider will never actually climb too much, at least when you're paramotor, and you might hit some bubbles that'll slow you down and level you off, but you're not actually going up and down, which is not a big deal. But for newer guys, that's a big deal for guys taking their first flight, second flight. You don't want to throw them up in anything that's showing, dark green, light green. That's going to be uncomfortable for them to manage their glider. It might put them in an oscillation. But if it's, 100, 200, 300 feet a minute, that's pretty docile conditions. They'll start to feel some bumps, but it's not going to be anything that's dangerous.
Right.
And then you can look at the buoyancy to shear ratio. That tells you how if you're planning on thermaling, that tells you how good the thermals are, if they're going to stay together. If you get in lift and it's solid red like that, that lift will go all the way up, and you can ride that thermal to the top. And then that's cool how it's kind of split there. And what's happening is the winds are probably shearing the thermals there on the left side of the screen where it's blue. That's a low buoyancy to shear. That means the shear is higher than the buoyancy, so you get a low number. Over on the reds, the buoyancy is higher than the shear, so the thermals stay together. Sometimes even if it's blue on this screen, it still could be a washing machine because you get all these little thermal bubbles that are just getting chopped to heck. And it could be due to the fact that there's a lot of wind or that the thermals are not very strong. So you got to look at the big picture there. Those are the first two things I look at, whether I'm free flying or paramotor flying. I look at the updraft velocities, the winds, and the buoyancy to shear. And those main three things are really what comes in handy. The other thing is precipitation. Is it going to rain? So you click over at precipitation, and it'll show you basically where the rain is most likely to happen. So if it's a day where there may be something, developing, see, when you click on a spot like you just did there, it'll give you all the different forecasts and what they're showing for that, a point forecast for that. It shows you what the RAP, the HRR3, the NAM12, or the GFS will give you different buoyancy to shear. So you can compare the forecast at a single point. And they differ sometimes. And sometimes, what one tells you may not be what another one tells you. But if they all line up and say about the same thing, then you can probably bank on it being about that. So these are just forecast models. The computer comes up with this stuff. It's not like chiseled in stone gonna happen, but it usually is close, especially when they start conflicting and one showing something totally different than another one is something totally different than a third one. Then it's kind of up in there as to what's going to happen. Then you may just want to go out to the field and look, and it might show you then what's really happening. So pretty neat stuff, though.
So, I love it. Every time I log in here, I get like stuck, and I'm learning all kinds of stuff and just the information overload, man. I love it.
Yeah.
So
of all the things that offers, though, that's the one thing that I just saw it. That's the one thing that I look at.
Hilarious.
Yeah. What's up, Ross?
Hey,
that is hilarious, Ross, because when I asked you, I was like, where are you at? You're in your thing. And you were like, oh, I'm just over here.
Yeah.
I knew something was up.
Behind everyone else's videos.
Well, I see the pill bottles in the background. I'm going, wait, that's a pharmacy in there.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
Dead giveaway. Yeah, Ross is here with me, man. We flew like yesterday. It was terrible. And then tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday looks so good though. Like he made the right decision to come here. Yeah. Because it's gonna be beautiful, man.
Yes,
that
it
is hilarious.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, that video you put out there looked incredibly bumpy. They're still trolling you in the chat, by the way. I want to take a quick break. Let's take a break, and I want to just give a shout out to Orange Products, paraorangeproducts.com. He's going to do a giveaway right now. Larry, you ready to give stuff away?
Yes, sir. We are. We
so
are
on
ready.
What is it? The third week of every month, we're going to do a giveaway.
Yes, we are. And also to mention, for all viewers that go into the website, paraorangeproducts.com, if they input under the e-rebates tab, Thursday RN, they receive a 10% discount, which will be credited back the next day. Nice. So tonight we're going to give away what started the whole thing, and I think I can share my screen. I don't know if this is going to come up or not, but no, let's see.
What are you doing over there, Sean?
The bag lady's going to be so mad at me. I'm preparing. You might want to bring her out here so we can see her watching me fold these pieces of paper up, because it's almost giving me a heart attack. So I know she's going to have one.
I don't know why I can't share, but anyway, tonight we're going to give away, and I'll just put it on the screen.
Oh yeah,
the windsock.
Nice.
And this is what I don't know if this is being broadcast or not.
Yep.
But tonight we give away a windsock, and that's what actually started this whole business was this windsock. And this windsock is a low velocity windsock. It'll actually detect wind at 1 mile an hour. And if you ever fly at my airport, you will see that they're in every corner of the airport. The windsock, first of all, one of the things that people, and we get a lot of letters and a lot of cards, but one of the things that people always ask about a low velocity windsock, can I leave it out 24/7? And you can't. Low velocity windsocks cannot stay out like an airport windsock. But what we do unique to ours is we heat seal the streamers. So not only are there's no seams, because seams would not let the wind flow over the tentacle, as we call it. We heat seal these so they don't come apart as quickly as most other socks do. But any low velocity windsock will deteriorate after time. What makes this windsock so good at what it does is the fabric we use. This is a fabric that the bag lady found. I don't know where she gets it, but she buys it by the truckloads. And it's actually made, I think, for the boating industry. It is a ripstop type material. But this is what we're going to give away today. And Sean, have you picked a winner yet?
John Staples is trying to
during the whole shameful plug here. I've been cutting each and every
All right,
name.
so go ahead. You keep cutting, and I'll make the big announcement tonight.
Yes.
As you know, all of the products that we sell, we make here in the state of Florida. We make them right here in Spring Hill, Florida, actually. It's family business. And we are now going to be selling for the first time a product that we do not make in Spring Hill, or even it's not even made in the country, but we have just become an authorized distributor for McPara wings. So as of yesterday evening, we have now entered into the wing business. So we are in the process of updating our website, and we will be one of the distributors on the East Coast for the McPara wings.
Get out of here.
Yep, and we're putting together some good promotions. Of course, when we sell a wing, we're going to give you a stuffed sack, a take-along bag, and a windsock, and all the goodies that we sell. So over the next week or so, my sons are working on the website, hopefully as we speak. And so that's the big news. We now are in the wing business.
That's cool, man. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, this has been a secret. I fly a McPara. I mean, that's the wing I chose, and I like them a lot. So I wanted to go. Looked at a couple of different wings, and that was the one we chose.
This chat is out of control. Oh man! So check this out. Before we do the giveaway, I made some stickers for the show. Paragliding Talk stickers. We'll see how they hold up. I put one on the car. On my Jeep. I'm gonna see if they last, if I use the right materials and stuff, and then I'll be giving those away. And then I also got some shirts. Check these out. Paragliding Talk t-shirts. Some of you I sent I already sent out. They should be there by they were supposed to be there today. But anyways, we're not selling them. I'm just giving them away right now, but paraglidingtalk.com. Oh, to each his own. Do we got that figured out over there, Sean?
No, you guys got to forgive me. I'm cutting 78 different names.
I know there's 78 people on right now, and they're going crazy for a windsock. We should have gave windsock away a long time ago.
And by the way, I'm so cheap, I'm not using a printer, so I had to write out each and every name. And now I'm hand cutting each and every one out. You know, I kind of need to get me a cheap intern, you know, that lives off of rice or something. You know, I could pay him in rice and oats or something like that. You know,
you're a horrible human
Don,
being.
I've got some really nice scissors, man. You need some big scissors? I could cut a prescription in one swipe with these dudes, man.
I'm using leather shears. You know.
Hold on a second, Kyle. Why do you have gigantic pair of scissors?
Well, you're fine. Like you get a prescription, you know, instead of like taking like 5 whacks, I could just take 1 whack and knock it loose. So it saves me a lot of strokes.
Okay, all right.
It's a stroke saver is what
I was thinking it was in case if it wasn't February or through November or something like that, you know. They'd cut them to size.
Oh, they're.
I was talking about the shirt size. I'm bigger between November and February. That's what I meant by that. You know, it starts around Thanksgiving. I'm almost there.
You need to send me your. I do need your. I still have your shirt. I just need you to send me your. Just text me with your address, Kyle.
Yeah, I got you covered.
Dimitri.
All right.
What's up, Dimitri?
Look at this, man. It's crazy. All right.
Guy's pretty sharp, man. Dimitri's sharp. He knows tricks.
Yeah, man. I watched him fly the other day. Did a little launch out of his backyard. I was a little jealous.
I'm breaking a sweat. Good Lord. All right. You ready? I need farts or drum rolls.
Parts of drum rolls. Let's go.
All right. We've got Dirt Bird 43.
Dirt Bird.
Dirt Bird 43.
So Kyle's Paramotor's in there.
The Dirt Bird.
Dirt Bird 43. Congratulations.
I'm going back in the chat to see where the Dirt Bird is.
Oh, and of course, after I got done writing all the names and cutting all the stinking paper, Aviator shows up.
Oh, Eric's here. What's up, Eric?
How's it going, man?
I gotta get to Florida, man. I missed it the last time, and I felt terrible. Like literally, both ways, emotionally and physically. I'm like a flu.
Wow, man! 3 more people just logged on. Well, welcome, guys. I'm so glad that you're here tonight, and really, I count it a privilege to host the show. But I really feel like this is it's all about you guys, and so I'm just grateful that you guys are all here. If you are interested in catching some of the past episodes, because there's so much information you can learn from every one of these episodes, there's a little nugget of gold somewhere in there, at least 1 or 2, something you can take with you or something that might save your life. And so I want to encourage you to go, especially if you're a new pilot and you're learning, you want to get some more contacts. You want to learn some more about who's the teacher nearby you or who's the best or who to stay away from. You can always check out these past videos and we'll let you know. And then if you see something that you like, or maybe you want to ask a question, I'm pretty responsive to the questions and comments in the chat. We set up a Patreon for the show. If you want to support the show financially, you can do that for the price of a cup of coffee. You can learn something that might save your life or save somebody else's. And go to the Patreon, support the show financially. It's a great cause, I think. And we're stacking up some money now. We can buy some stuff. That's why we're able to make some shirts and some stickers. And the future holds great things for all things flying. So thanks for all the supporters that support the show on Patreon. And then also there's a handful of guys that support it on PayPal. And go to paraglidingtalk.com under the support page, and you can find out who's supporting the show financially. And they got the list of glory on there. So go check that out. So, hey, welcome, Eric. I see you in there. Bunch of Tony. Gosh, man, there's so many people. 83 people right now. So, anyways, we were talking about the XC Skies. I'm going to go back to my screen share, and I just want to take a peek at just a couple more things on there. I do want to say that XC Skies is $40 a year. Is that right?
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Now, for me, no brainer.
I've been buying it for 3 years in a row, and I never hesitate when it comes up. Like, yeah click. You know?
Yeah, because it's so worth it. I mean, the setup is incredible, and it's accurate, and it works every time I log in. You know, some of the sites that I log on that are not XC Skies don't always have everything ready to go because it's free. There's no incentive really to keep it rolling, I guess. So let me go to my screen share.
Just having the thermal strength alone is something you don't get at other places. You know,
Right.
the convection that's happening is just not something that's readily available easily anyway. I know there's some sites that have it, but I've tried them. They're a little harder to manipulate than the XC Skies version.
Okay, so I'm going to do something actually for my own benefit. There's a fly-in that's going on this weekend. Where did I? Man, I went all the way over there. So that's going to be on Saturday, and we're going to go to Palomar. So let's take a look at Saturday. I'm looking at the GFS 30, and at 12 o'clock noon, and let's take a cruise on up to the Palomar area. So it's looking like it's going to be a little strong, 12-mile-an-hour winds. Let me go to top of usable lift to put some light on there because that was a little depressing with all that blue.
Still 12.
12, 11, 10. It's going down. 9. And this is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So I don't know necessarily that I'm going to be launching at 1 o'clock, but we'll see.
What's the elevation at Palomar, Robert?
I think it's 3.5.
Okay, so you need to change your altitude as well. At launch is going to be much different than what the surface is showing.
That is a fact. That is
so if your launch is 3,500, I'd be looking at 4,000 winds.
Yeah. Let me just
something you always have to consider when you're picking a mountain launch is the winds aloft, not the surface.
That's
it's
right.
deceiving.
That's exactly right. Direction of the wind. Where am I at here? Okay, here we go. I zoomed out too far. I don't ever fly at Palomar because I hate Palomar. So anyways, this is what I'm looking at. I'm going to take a peek at this. I'm going to go through my timestamps, make sure that the direction changes. And then just like Kyle was saying, let's take a look at 2 grand. Yeah, direction pretty much the same. Got a little north on it. And at 4K, the speed, the wind velocity drops substantially. Now 6K, it's at nothing. 8K stays the same. So we're not dealing with too much. Doesn't look like any wind shear or anything like that. Now, the other thing that I'll look at, that's 2 o'clock. There's 3 o'clock. Let's go 4. And on the models, it's looking like an XC day. So having that said, we're going to try.
Change your model to the HRRR. That's the one that has the most accurate thermal stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't go that far out.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it only.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is just Thursday. My bad.
Yeah. But
NAM 12 might.
Yeah, let's take a look at these other ones.
Yeah, that's another global one there, the GDPS.
Yep. And it's sporadic. Here's the NAM.
You bigger chunks. Yeah, NAM 12 has got some data there.
Yep.
But you see how it spreads out as you go into the future?
Right. And a little different. Okay, here's a NAM 3. Oh, that's interesting. Only goes till Saturday at 10.
Yeah, see, it's a more accurate forecast, more resolution, so they can't push it as far.
Right. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. It's going to be blown over the back on Friday. So, yeah, the high res, yep, that's Friday too. High res is saying the same thing for tomorrow. So, lift above ground, I'm going to take a look at that. That's Friday. So, anyways, those are the 2 things. Now, some of these guys really have a good handle on it. If you're a local here around San Diego, the San Diego Hang Gliding Paragliding Association has these meetings. I think it's on Thursday nights, maybe once a month or something like that. And they've been actually doing where a couple of the guys, I know Bill Davis, he's been teaching a little bit. If you're a part of the San Diego chapter, San Diego Hang Gliding Paragliding Association, you can go to those classes, and they have like a dinner and all that stuff. And I think if you're not signed up and you're local, it's $40 to sign up for that. And I do want to encourage you to do that so you can fly all the sites and support the local guys and keep the sites open. And go check out their website too. Pretty cool. Nick Hawks just wrote an article on the website, so you can go to just Google San Diego Hang Gliding Paragliding Association, and you'll find that. And that's a really cool organization. They do a bunch of stuff for the locals here and keep our sites open. A lot of times, I don't want to offend anybody, but there's some people out there that want to shut down sites and want to shut down the areas where you want to go and fly. And it's not cool when somebody gets mad because you land in their petunia patch or something and bent over some, hurt some flowers, or landed in somebody's garden, big deal, close down a site, but whatever. So anyways, those are the two things I'm looking for. One of the other websites that I use, what's your other favorite website, Kyle?
Man, as far as winds, I really like windy.com. That windy.com is an amazing site just for a quick visual on the winds.
Oh yeah, I love Windy.
And it's highly accurate, at least in my area. Now, something that I've noticed when I've used both of those tools other places in the country is that some models are more accurate in some places versus other places. So when I was in like Wyoming, and I can't remember which one it was, but there was one model that was consistently better than the other ones versus back here, where it's the high resolution and rapid repeat. It was something else up there that was really like giving the money. And I'll look at them and then see what really happens a few hours later and see which ones were the best ones. But that does change geographically. I don't know if it's got to do with weather stations and how spread out they are, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Could have a large amount to do with it. Data points.
Yep.
Data points are spread out more. The accuracy is obviously going to be less. And it's all extrapolated from just a few data points. But I'm near Oklahoma. Oklahoma has probably some of the best weather prediction stuff and data metrics in the whole world because of the tornadoes. They've got the mesonet, they called it, and they've got a data station every few miles. I think it's an amazing setup that they've got just in Oklahoma. But it's because of the tornadoes. They want that high accuracy so they can say if you're in this neighborhood, duck, versus if you're in this whole county. It's counties everywhere else. So they can get some pretty high accuracy as far as where the tornadic activity is, because they've got all the extra data points there to work with. So the weather's pretty accurate there just because of that.
I really like soaringpredictor.info.
I hadn't used that one.
Okay, so when you come over here to Southern California, you're going to want to know how to use this.
That's right.
This is fantastic, and the invite is still there, buddy. Okay, here we go. This is all my sites here on the left. These are all Southern California sites. Froze up over there.
Oh, just my other screen. I got two computers going here.
I'm gonna open up Palomar. Now this is gonna give you some. This is gonna give you Thursday. There's nothing above launch here. If you look over here on this side, this is what I look at first. It says above launch, and this is gonna take the difference between my soaring ceiling and my thermal ceiling, and it's going to give me a prediction about how much above launch we can get. So it's going to give you the base. So it looks like 3,200 is the launch at Palomar, and so Friday it looks like for a couple hours between 11 and 4 you're going to be above launch a little bit. Now let's go to Saturday because that's what I want. Looks like it's going to be the same thing. So not a great day, but it should be. The direction of the wind is good. That's one of the important things. And then also, obviously wind velocity. And then I always check out the wind grams. And this is going to give you a breakdown of what's happening. Yeah, I should be able to see 2 days ahead. Let's go to Palomar. Click on here. And let's go plus 2 days. Now, this one will take you a little while to wrap your mind around if you're not in aviation. So this is your hours. So this 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And that's the direction of the wind, the velocity. And then it's going to give you the altitude on the side here. And that's how you're going to be able to tell what's happening. Now, it's going to give you a prediction about how high you're going to get on the side. And usually it's identified with a little wing. You'll see a wing. And each hour will have its own wing. This prediction is that you're not going to get above launch. So the wing doesn't even show up. So it looks like it's going to be pretty much a sled ride, which is fine because on the Halloween special, you sled ride right down to tacos and the LZ. Totally fine with that. Right?
Yeah. Halloween, man. I've got a heck of a Halloween thing set up.
Yeah, you might have to put that on for the next show.
It's gonna be legit, dude. I think I might make a video about it.
No, tell them.
I guess I could share it with y'all. I'll be keeping it a secret locally because I'm going to terrorize the trick-or-treaters. I've got this full Grim Reaper outfit, and I'm gonna rig up the electric unicycle so that the long robe doesn't get tangled in the wheel. And I'm just going to ride the dang unicycle along with the Grim Reaper and the sickle and just go around touching people. And,
Don't do
a taser up to that thing.
It's going to be death, It's should be. I did a test run, made a kid cry in the mall. So it seems to be pretty good. We're going to test it out.
I had mentioned to Robert that I was going to do the same thing for Halloween to scare the kids. I got a killer, like leather face mask. It looks like actual skin that's been chopped up.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
Slits and stuff. I mean, it freaked Robert out. I'd show people on the show, but I think that might make some people pee.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be good. So, yeah I'm definitely going to see some footage of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so these fly-ins are pretty crazy over here. They got some pretty neat costumes. They filmed the whole shenanigan last year. So if you go to the website, the San Diego Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association website, you should be able to see it. Pretty funny. One guy, his name's Kim. He's a local here, and he was Kim Fly. What was it? Kim Fly Un, and it was Kim Jong Un. So he was flying with a rocket behind him. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
And some of the Coupe car stuff is mind blowing.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
Oh my! I want to go to that at some point. It's
where's that at? In Europe?
It's in France, I believe.
Yeah,
that sounds French.
It's everything flying related. So yeah, they all put on costumes and jump off the mountain.
Well, you got Gasaway there with you, so you got a helper. Might I suggest maybe perhaps you take you like a board and make you a foam horse. So that way, when you're dead, you got done. No,
it's already done. They did that. Coupe car, is that what it's called?
I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but that's what it sounds like. Coupe car.
I think so. I think that's what Kyle said when they were shooting footage when they were over there.
That's what Eric just wrote it in there.
And depends on where you're from, right? Yeah, I invented a word in my last video. If you watch it, you'll see.
What is it?
Completenessness.
Completenessness.
Yep. It's a thing now. It's on the internet. It's done deal.
Well, guys, we're at the 8 o'clock mark. I do want to say a special thanks to everybody, all you guys that are in the chat. You guys rock. 86 viewers tonight, top of the night. You guys are awesome. I love going back and watching. I can't always pay attention to the chat. That's why I always have to have a moderator. I can only do one thing at a time, and so it's hard. So I go back, and sometimes I'm just cracking up with some of the things that you guys are doing over there. And every once in a while, I know that you guys are getting out of hand because no one be paying attention to what I'm saying. or the person who's talking, nobody's paying attention. I'm guilty too, and I'll be over there just trolling. But I can always tell when something's out of hand. You guys are all start laughing. Nothing funny's being said. Thanks, Larry, for your giveaway. So you won the gift. What did we say? You got 48 hours to respond. 48 hours to respond. and that was the Dirty Bird 43. Dirt Bird.
Dirt Bird.
Dirt
Yeah.
Bird.
He logged in and logged out, didn't he? I didn't see
Yeah.
him in the chat anymore after that.
Maybe that's what we should do, is have it to where they have to comment in the chat after their name is called.
That's a good idea.
Keep them tuned in.
Yeah. Lock them in.
Oh yeah.
Lock them in.
We're gonna feel bad if he had like a heart attack and fell over, and they find him the show going dead by his phone. Like, man, we're sorry.
Tell you what, it'd be a good way to go out.
That's right.
Be a good way.
How I want to go.
Talking about paragliding.
Yeah, probably how I will go then.
Yeah, yeah, probably. That's all right. All things flying. Yeah, so make sure you send me your information. You can also just reach out directly to Larry at paraorangeproducts.com and shoot him an email if you're interested in maybe purchasing some of the stuff off of his site. Got some good stuff on there. Go check it out. If you haven't checked out the website, you need to do it by now. And if I don't see you in the air, see you on the air. So have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Night, y'all. Much love.